Assalamualaikum and welcome back to my video presentation on problem-based learning. In the previous discussion, I have shared my experience of designing authentic PBL problem based on real-world problem and setting. It seems easy because the problem came right in front of my classroom door. And also I managed to bring my students to participate in the process of redesigning the real world problem into an authentic PBL problem. As PBL practitioners, however, we should not depend on luck and wait for the real world problems to come to us. We should be proactively continue to look for them and keep updating our course or subject by connecting them to the emerging real-world problems related to the content and context of students' learning. Authentic real-world problems, according to Barrows and Linda uh, in 2007, are central to the PBL process as they stimulate learners to determine what it is they need to learn and provide both an anchor and organizer for learning. Having identified the real-world problems, we then should redesign them into authentic problems to be presented to the students for them to start the PBL process. This task is easier said than done. Apart from the authenticity of the problem, we should also consider other crucial aspects, including the degree of content focus, the context, and the process of learning. And above all, the problem should engage the students and motivate them to learn through and solve it as if it was their own problem. By working with the problem, students will activate and apply their prior knowledge and skills. As they attempt to solve the problem, they will realize and understand the additional knowledge and skills needed to fill the gap between their prior knowledge and the intended learning outcomes and solution. The authentic real-world problem should mirror the students' past as well as the present and future demands of the real workplace and professional practice. According to Barrows and Linda, the design of PBL problems should have this characteristic. 1. Authentic. 2. Ill-structured. 3. Promote free inquiry. 4. Engaging and stimulating. And 5. Specifying the learner's role. These characteristics represent the frequent and high-impact problems that occur in the workplace and the real-world setting. Working with this kind of problems requires a sequence of behavior similar to those that will be used in the work setting and enable learners to become more effective problem solvers. 1. The problems should be authentic problems that occurred in the real world setting, and they should represent both the frequent and the high impact problems of the work setting. PBL practitioners should be able to relate the course of study they are teaching to the emerging real world problems. This task requires them to always alert upon new development in technology as well as current challenges and problems in the global society, directly or indirectly related to the course of study. 2. Ill-structured. The problems should be encountered initially by the learners with only the information that was available when the real-world problem was encountered, no more. When learners first encounter the problems, there should be insufficient information available to fully understand them or to make decisions about their solution, just as it occurs with problems in the work setting. 3. Promote free inquiry. The design of the problem should permit and promote free inquiry. Free inquiry process enables the learners to obtain the additional information deemed necessary for them to learn further and get a better understanding of the problem before working on the solution. The free inquiry also implies that the learners should be able to carry out whatever they feel is an appropriate process, such as questioning, examining, observing, manipulating, experimenting, and probing without being constrained by bounded rules or regulations. In free inquiry process, learners should also be able to decide what items of additional information that they will need from the problem, how they will get it, and then be able to obtain that information if it was truly available in the problem situation. And if at all possible, they should receive no more information than what they asked for and not be given information that they did not actually earn through inquiry. And also, learners should not be constrained by the problem format to get information in any fixed sequences. 4. Engaging and stimulating. The problem should be engaging, stimulating the learners to take it on as their own problem for which they feel responsible. Authentic real-world problem encountered in the career that learners have chosen goes a long way towards engaging their interest in the problem. Obviously, when learners take on a problem as their own, their motivation to learn is enhanced, and this will certainly enable the learning become engaging and stimulating. 5. Specifying the learner's role. The learners should understand the particular role that they are assuming with the problem. More than likely, the learner's role with a problem will be obvious as it is one that occurs in the particular occupation or professional practice that they have chosen. If the role that they are to undertake with the problem is unfamiliar or unusual, they should be given background information for the role. This is to create a better contextual learning environment in PBL. As a problem designer, PBL practitioners should not look beyond the authentic and real-world problems. Sometimes many of us would like to do differently by looking beyond and above the authentic and real-world problems, such as creatively design a fictional problem or ambitiously present the wicked and too ill-structured problem for students to learn with the expectation that one day they will be able to solve the futuristic and world's most complex problems. The fictional and wicked problems are the two most irrelevant types of problems that problem designers should avoid at all costs. Fictional problems are problems that totally made up or created from a recall and modification of a real problem that did exist. These are problems in which considerable creativity is needed to fill out the details of the problem. With a fictional problem, students may often ask for information that the teacher had not thought of to include, leaving him with the choice of making up more fictional data or telling students that the information is not available. It is usually easy for students to detect a fictional problem made up by the teacher, and this undermines the feelings of authenticity of the learning. And in their thinking, the problem is relegated to be teachers' assignments. Wicked problems, according to Rittel and Weber, 1973, are unavoidably ill-defined. Although they are fundamentally authentic and real-world problems, they are too complex and too ill-structured for students to deal with, especially with the inadequate resources and limited duration of the learning process. Unlike problems in the natural sciences, which are definable and separable and may have solutions that are findable and traceable, wicked problems are never solved. Wicked problems refer to a social or cultural issue or concern that is difficult to explain and inherently impossible to solve. These are the crises that we long for answers to, but answers do not come easily, such as issues like global climate change, education design, financial crisis, healthcare, hunger, income disparity, obesity, poverty, terrorism, and sustainability. They are complicated, interconnected, too large to fix, yet they are the authentic and real world problems that plague our governments, communities, and societies as a whole. In a broader perspective, according to Lavery 2018, wicked problems are seen from 10 defining characteristics. 1. They are not amenable to the definitive formulation. 2. It is not obvious when they have been solved. 3. Solutions are not true or false, but good or bad. 4. There is no immediate or ultimate test of a solution. 5. Every implemented solution is consequential. It leaves traces that cannot be undone. 6. There are no criteria to prove that all potential solutions have been identified and considered. 7. Every wicked problem is essentially unique. 8. Every wicked problem can be considered to be a symptom of another problem. 9. A wicked problem can be explained in numerous ways, and the choice of explanation determines what will count as a solution. And 10. The actors are liable for the consequences of the actions they generate. A weaker problem, however, could be used in PBL by selecting a small part of it, such as the problem of hunger, by focusing on the issue of sustainable farming or renewable energy to power irrigation in arid areas. Now, let us move to another important question in designing PBL problems. What are the common formats of PBL authentic problems? According to Barrows and Linda 2007, there are at least 7 common formats of PBL problems. 1. Written or printed problems. 2. The PBL module. 3. Computer simulation. 4. Virtual reality. 5. Human simulation. 6. Models. And 7. Actual problems. 1. Written or printed problems are the most convenient and least expensive format to produce, use and make available. They may be presented in the actual scenario as letters, plans, reports, news items, and etc. However, when problems do not present themselves originally in written or printed format, they have to be simulated with other varieties of complementary media package that can provide sights and sounds such as photographs, diagrams, audio, and video files, samples as well as specimens. 2. The problem-based learning module, or PBLM. PBLM is a printed problem format in a book form, form that provides for free inquiry during problem solving, and has been used in medical education for many years. More recently, variations of the PBL have been used in other educational settings. It is designed to overcome the limitations of written problems and facilitate the development of both problem-solving skills and self-directed learning. 3. Computer simulation. This problem format allows direct interaction between the problem solver and the problem. It also can incorporate a wide range of visual, auditory, and textual materials to support learning, communication between learners, and communication between teachers and learners. They are increasingly useful tools for teaching and testing learners' knowledge. Some computers can produce virtual realities that offer a realistic simulation of the real problem in their environment. 4. Virtual reality. Virtual reality is a computer-generated simulation that produces a 3 or even more dimensional environment from almost anywhere in the world, complete with objects and people. It takes over the learner's vision to give them the impression that they are somewhere else. The learners can seemingly move around in this newly created environment and interact with the people and objects within it. The simulation is conveyed to the learner's senses through computer-activated devices such as surround screens, projectors, globes, goggles, and earphones. Since 2017, virtual reality technology, or VR technology, had been enhanced by the augmented reality, or AR technology. Whereas VR replaces our vision, AR adds to it. AR devices letting learners see everything in front of them as if they are wearing a weak pair of sunglasses. The technology is designed to completely free movement while projecting images over whatever learners look at. The PBL problem simulation couldn't be much better than this by allowing learners to interact virtually as well as with the surrounding. Today, augmented reality apps or AR apps are available for personal phones and easily accessible everywhere. 5. Human simulation. In medicine and other health fields, people are specially trained to accurately and consistently simulate real patients and their problems. They are used to evaluate a learner's clinical skills, which is taking a history, carrying out physical examination, counseling, and educating. Decision making skills and professional manner in a medical context. They are also used to teach these skills, allowing the learners to become confident and competent in those skills before they work with real patients. 6. Models are invaluable in allowing the learner to practice over and over to develop their skills. They are useful for developing the skills needed in emergencies and other situations that could be life-threatening or damaging, but without the risk. With models, the free inquiry is possible through manipulation, probing, observation, and experimentation. Uh, Finally, seven actual problems. In the last phase of a professional and trade curricula, learners usually move into the real work situation where they are under less guidance and working with real problems. They are often referred to as internships, apprenticeships, work placement, or client-based projects, where real clients are willing to provide projects for learners to solve. Actual problems could also be possible if students, during their course activities, were allowed to participate in the real-world projects supported by external parties such as communities, companies, and industries. I am confident that this discussion on problem design could guide us through some general understanding of the main guiding principles in designing problems for PBL. In the next video presentation, I will be sharing a more specific problem design model called 3C3R. This model offers a more practical way or step-by-step process of designing a PBL problem to cover both the core and process components of a PBL. Thank you very much for your time and kind attention to my presentation. Again, viewers who are new here, please subscribe to my channel so you will get more notification on my upcoming videos. And don't forget to like and share this video. And if you have something to share, please leave the comment below. Have a great day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.